Well, we're here with Mike Williams. Mike, welcome to the Sludge Factory. How are you today?
Hey, how's it going?
Real good, man. Thanks for checking in. It's kind of we've been hearing a lot of exciting talk about I Hate God recently. You guys have been playing some shows. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much the past like 3 years, we've been finally got active again after Katrina and all the crap that happened to us then. We finally started getting our shit together a little bit more, and we've been to Europe a couple times. We've been toured the U.S. like 3 times, doing different shows on the East and West Coast and stuff. So yeah, we're trying to just keep active again.
Yeah, it's cool to see you guys back out there. I saw some of your upcoming shows. It looks like you guys are going to be playing with some pretty cool bands from your area. I saw Crowbar listed on there. I saw Goat Whore. What is it? How cool is it going to be to be playing with those guys from your local area, so to speak?
Oh, well, it's always fun to play with bands that the friends of ours that we know from here, but out of town. It's always just like it's a huge party always.
For sure.
We just did a bunch of shows on the East Coast with this band from here called Harp.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard them.
I have, as a matter of fact, yes.
Yeah, they're awesome, and
totally.
they were just it's just fun to be out of town with your friends, and just kind of you don't have to worry about anything. You're kind of out of town having fun, but it's always good too to represent the scene. Going out with bands from New Orleans, it's like we pretty much just like take over the club, so it's good like that.
Well, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that New Orleans scene, because of course I Hate God is legendary as far as being one of the founding bands to produce that that's whatever you want to call it, the sludge sound, the doom sound, the NOLA sound.
Yeah.
Can you guys talk to me? Just talk to me a little bit about where that sound kind of comes from. And why is it, why is the New Orleans area specifically such a breeding ground for bands that are into that type of music?
Well, I couldn't tell you why. I don't know why it's a breeding ground. It just happened like this. It's just like one of those. Like certain cities seem to like put out a certain type of sound, and it's all got to be just the regional thing. And being down here, we're kind of like the big city in the South. I mean, well, in Louisiana at least, there's like Houston and stuff, which is like our little sister city, I guess, and stuff like that. So I guess it's just being kind of isolated down here in this city in the deep South has something to do with it. I don't know exactly what, but the way it all came to be is just probably our love for just different kinds of music that I come from like a hardcore punk background, like listening to all that stuff when I was younger, and I still do listen to it. Plus, I also love St. Vitus and, Witchfinder General and Trouble and all those bands and the Melvins, so when we finally did hear the Melvins, we were just like, all right, this is it. We're starting a band like this, and
I hear you.
Pretty much it just came from that, and, Jimmy's just a huge Sabbath freak, and so am I, but we all have our different tastes, and it just blended together like that. As far as other bands that sound like this down here, I have no clue where it came from with them,
Well, I just think it's so cool that, you can kind of see, yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I love the New Orleans scene. I love that, that sludgy scene that we hear so much about. And I know I've heard you guys reference the Melvins a lot as one of your influences. That sludgy, crunchy guitar, slow down, slow-paced music.
Pretty much the first Melvins album, though.
Yeah.
They started getting. I honestly don't even know much of their stuff beyond like Bullhead or something. Honestly, I probably don't even know much after Ozma.
Interesting.
I kind of, when they started getting kind of arty, I like experimental music a lot, but for some reason, they never held my attention after that. But what was your question again?
Well, definitely, it's that type of stuff that's my favorite part of your music as well. Talk about where your vocal inspiration comes from. What made you decide to just want to scream like a banshee, on your records?
Well, like I said before, that just comes from, growing up as a punk rocker, training. It's pretty obvious. That's pretty obvious. I just came from, just from that scene, from listening to bands like Discharge and Negative Approach or anybody like that. That just, that's just how it is in those bands, And I was in tons of bands like that,
Absolutely.
And that's where it came from, and just anger and hatred too. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it all comes together.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely one of my favorite types of sounds, and I also lyrically, I mean, your band's always been very, like you said, there's a lot of anger, there's a lot of aggression, and that's probably coming from a lot of the, your hardcore background. I know you've kind of had, kind of a rough past too. I mean, is a lot of that personal as well?
Yeah, I'm sure it is. It just all comes out. Of course, when we play live, it's a great way to let it all out, and just, and this music is so heavy, I mean, in the beginning, we didn't really think it would fit, like this, all the other bands either, there was I don't know, like the Melvins, Buzz didn't scream, but, he didn't sing either, so we were kind of like, what if we took it even extremer than that, but we didn't think it would fit at first, I thought maybe it would need to be some, like more like, The Obsessed or somebody, but it all turned out pretty well.
Well, yeah, certainly, and I think there's, thousands, if not millions of people out there who would agree with you. I Hate God, certainly a legendary band. And
if they would all send me $1, I'll be happy.
Well, that's kind of a nice lead-in into what I want to talk about next. I wanted to talk to you about, you mentioned Katrina, you mentioned that, you're in that area, right, where, so many people were affected and so many people had their lives torn apart. You specifically, got to see that firsthand. Can you talk a little bit about what that experience kind of did to you? Could, changed your life around, so to speak?
Well, in the long run, it turns out to all be good, because it's good for experience. And, they say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, I guess. So, but that all turned out well, on that end. But the stuff that I saw, was I'm pretty much 100% sure I have post-traumatic stress disorder from it,
Absolutely.
Not that I didn't have it already. I probably had it before that from other stuff. But that was just, I saw dead bodies and stuff. It's not like stuff I really want to talk about, but, I saw, like, a lot of crazy shit that,
yeah.
And everybody here did. It's not just me. Everybody that stayed. And there was a good bit of people that stayed, through the storm.
Absolutely.
People that had no money, which is why I couldn't get out of the city, like I had no way to get out until later on. I acquired a car and left, but before that, we were just stuck here, and so was everybody else, and everybody had pretty much the same experience with seeing just, a lot of crazy shit.
Yeah, I'm sure it must have been, really hard, and for some of us who, aren't from that area, me being from Chicago, we really only got to experience what we saw on television. You know what I mean? It's hard to, really describe, experience firsthand what a travesty that was. It's just interesting to hear from somebody who actually, not only, was from the area, because everybody claimed to be from New Orleans after Katrina, but you were actually right there through the shit of it, and.
Oh yeah.
And that's a pretty amazing experience.
Home. I wasn't born here, but I was born in North Carolina. But I've been here for 30-something years, so this is my home. It's like I didn't want to leave. Like every year there would be a hurricane. Everybody just laughs it off. Just like whatever. We didn't realize that this is like the big one.
Yeah.
But what I did want to say is people should look up. The worst thing that I saw was a lot of cop corruption, a lot of police brutality and corruption on their part, and people should look that stuff up. There's a PBS special right now called, I think it's called Law and Disorder.
Okay.
Not 100% sure, but it details just a tiny bit of, like, some of the, the cops murdering people and stuff just because they could.
Right.
Basically, and trying to get away with it. But a lot of those cops are going on trial now, so that's a good thing.
Well, it's another aspect of the whole experience that gets overlooked, unfortunately, and that is something that needs to be brought to light. So, yeah, I mean, definitely check that out for sure.
Yeah.
Now, I wanted to talk a little bit more about your experience around that time. I mean, I know you got into a little bit of trouble, but you know, you had some of your friends and support from your fans. And Phil Ensemble kind of organized, you know, an effort to help you get released out of jail. Can you talk about what that meant for you, you know, personally, as a friend and as a fan?
Well, you know, wait, did you say as a fan?
Well, I mean, as the fans kind of, you know, coming behind you and supporting you.
Well, yeah, the fan aspect was great because when I was in jail, I got so much mail that at one point they wouldn't even give me my mail. They refused to bring me my mail after a certain point because I was just getting so much mail. And that really, and ask anybody who's been in jail for any amount of time, you know that's the only thing that's going to keep your day going, you know, is hearing from the outside, you know, whether it's a phone call you can make or getting letters from people. And I got letters from like all over the world, you know. It was great, you know. Like the city I was in, I didn't get arrested in New Orleans. I got arrested outside of New Orleans.
Right.
It's like some little backwoods place. They're like, London, England. What the hell is that? You know, like they had no clue. Like you could get a letter from England. You know,
right.
They're like completely baffled at the whole thing.
Hilarious.
So that was funny, but it also caused a lot of attention on me, and they, like I said, they stopped giving me my mail.
Yeah.
Like people would send books and magazines. I never saw any of that until I got out. They had it all saved for me because they have to, but I guess they didn't have to. They could have thrown it away, but they saved it for me. But that got me through a lot of it, you know. But the Phil aspect, you know, yeah, that you find out who your friends are when you go through something like that, you know. And the few people that kept in touch with me, you know, are my best friends, and I'm still, you know, those are still my best friends to this day.
Yeah,
I actually hooked up with my wife, the girl I just married last year. She came to visit me in jail, and we stayed together ever since I got out. So, you know, stuff like that, you just see who your friends are, basically.
Yeah. Well, it was just such a cool story. I'd read about it online, and you know, I mean, I thought that kind of was, you know, what it's all about. You know, I mean, it's not just about making metal music; it's about friendships and you know, fans and people supporting one another. And you know, it's one of the cool things that I love about you know, metal and music in general. You know, so it's a cool story.
It's especially like that down here. I mean, New Orleans has always been like a brotherhood of friends. You know, it's always been like that, but Katrina just brought everybody like 1,000,000% closer, you know, everybody that was tight, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just everybody's got their own story to tell, you know, so it's more like a family down here than ever now.
Very cool. Now we talked about Phil a little bit. You've been working on this project with him for a while called Arson Anthem. What's going on with that right now?
The album's out. The album came out a few weeks ago. Okay. The full-length album.
Very cool. And
that's our second release. We put out another EP back in 2007 or 8.
Right.
I don't remember.
Right. Yeah. And that's I mean, it's definitely more of like a hardcore punk type sound.
Yeah, totally. It's faster, like just kind of strange. Some of it's pretty strange. Yeah, just I would say hardcore punk rock.
It's cool stuff. I mean, I really dig it. It's definitely not, you know, I mean, it's not I Hate God. It's not Pantera. It's not Down.
No.
You know, it's nothing like that. But it's
not at all, no.
It has a fresh sound to it. You know, it's gritty.
Have you heard the new record?
I've heard a couple of tracks. You know, I'll be honest. I haven't listened to the whole thing, but I caught a couple of the newer tracks off your MySpace page.
Right.
And it's some brutal stuff. You know, I really dig it a lot.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Yeah. And a lot of people, you know, Phil's playing guitar. I mean, a lot of people forget that. I mean, this guy actually wrote some of the Pantera riffs, you know, so...
Yeah, sure. He wrote a bunch of that stuff. I mean, ever since I've known Phil, he's played guitar. Just, I guess no one else knew it, you know. People always seem shocked at that, you know.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like, I wrote songs on this new Arson Anthem on guitar, you know. So I mean, we do what we can. You know, I play guitar too, and it's everybody does everything down here.
Yeah.
And if you look at Jimmy Bauer, you know, he plays drums, guitar, he's in every band.
You definitely see his name popping up a lot, you know.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
It's real cool. Now, real quick, talk about how I've heard that there's an interesting story behind how you and Phil kind of became friends. Do you care to talk about that at all?
How we became friends?
Yeah.
Oh, well, just, you know, I was just, you know, a crazy kid, and we were both younger, you know, and I was more, you know, in the punk scene or whatever like that, just a little snotty little asshole, you know, and I guess, you know, I figured I had never heard Pantera, you know, I didn't know what they sounded like or anything, but I found that I should, one night while we're out down on Bourbon Street or Decatur Street, one of those places, to tell Phil that his band sucked. Which I really don't know why I even did it, you know, just because I'm a jerk, I guess. Well, not anymore, back then.
You were a kid, right?
Huh?
You were a kid.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, he was younger, too. He was in more of a, you know, his, like, I want to fight everybody phase, you know, pretty much, so. That's how we met. I mean, because the next day, you know, I got all, you know, I'm hungover as hell, and I'm getting all these phone calls saying, yeah, you know, Phil wants to kick your ass. I'm like, well, what? What did I even do? They're like, you don't remember what you did? I'm like, no. So they, you know, everybody tells me what's going on, so I'm like, well, fuck it. I'm going to call this dude and see what he's got, what the deal is, because I don't know who he is.
Right.
I mean, I knew who he was, but we had went to the same school together when we were younger, but I didn't know his, like, who he, you know what I'm saying, know who he was now.
Sure,
like, I didn't realize they were, like, this huge band and all this stuff.
Right.
I mean, they were just starting to get big at that time, but they were big in the South, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So I guess I called him, and we just, after that, it was like, we just had respect for each other and just hung out, you know, and that's pretty much that story.
Well, that's kind of cool too. You know, you hear a lot of stories like that, but I mean, you guys you really sense that you guys kind of have something special. I mean, Arson Anthem is pretty much the two of you guys, your project. I mean, I know you know Hank 3 is playing drums, and I forget the name of your bass player, but it's
Colin.
It feels like it's kind of your, you know, two friends making the record that they never did when they were kids together, you know.
Sure, yeah, that Arson Anthem, you know, definitely, yeah. It's like that with all my bands, though. I mean, we're all, like, friends like that, you know?
Yeah, cool stuff. Real quick, we are going to be, in a couple of weeks, we're going to be doing a feature episode on one of your friendly bands, Crowbar. I was wondering if I can get you to talk a little bit about Kirk and Crowbar for just a few minutes, you know, what they are, you know, what he's like as a guy, you know, what their music is, you know, what you feel about their music and meaning towards other fans.
Well, sure, yeah. Kirk's a great guy, man. I've been knowing Kirk for a long time as well, you know. Me and Kirk, well, I met him, you know, like, back in the 80s when the punk scene started getting really stale, like in the mid-80s or so, when I was getting bored with, this started getting really generic, you know, hardcore punk and all that. I started going to see more metal bands, you know, and checking out more stuff like that. I was already a big Sabbath fan and, you know, Aerosmith or something like that, but not like the new, well, Motorhead and stuff like that, you know, Venom, Motorhead. So, like, I heard that he was friends with a friend of mine. They actually did like a Motorhead song, and I forget what other song they did, but we went and checked them out, and they were this good like underground. This is Victorian Blitz. This is his first band,
right?
Which are pretty much an all covers band, but they did do a bunch of originals that were really good, you know. So we became friends through that, and I don't know. He's got the same birthday as me. He's a good guy, man. I like Crowbar a lot, and it's great that they've stuck around all these years, you know. And they've pretty much been on the same trajectory as us, you know, trying to just stick together through. I know he's had numerous lineups and stuff, and just trying to stay together, you know. So yeah, Kirk's a cool guy, man.
That's great. I mean, it's your band and Crowbar get talked about so often together because you're both from the same scene. You both kind of play similar styles of music, but it's just cool to see both bands still doing it after all these years and still really making people want to go out there and buy the records, see the shows. It's good stuff. It's awesome.
Cool, man. Did you see us when we just played Chicago?
I didn't go see. I was actually I'm actually planning on going to Indianapolis next month, and I'm going to try and see you see you in Indy in a couple.
Yeah,
weeks.
we just did those 2 shows,
Yeah. This project of mine has got me busy, so I haven't been able to go to many shows lately, but definitely want to check you guys out.
Well, that's where you should be going, is the shows, so you can check out the bands.
Yeah. Well, what was it good?
I thought you were a fan.
I am a fan, man. Definitely. I've been to plenty shows in the last few months.
I hear you, man. Yeah. I'm just fucking with you.
No worries, man. So we're talking about shows. You guys have been playing some shows. What's next as far as an album? I've heard rumors that there might be an album in the works.
God, man, I don't know. I'm sick of talking about the album.
Really?
People, I'm just. They've probably got around 5 or 6 songs, and I just need to go. We're going to try to do some demos soon, and yeah, I mean, we just want to get this album out eventually, I just hope it is sooner than later, I just a lot of people are constantly asking, and it's just I'm just so tired of like telling people, well, yeah, we're doing it next month or whatever, and
right.
I mean, we came back from this last tour we did in I guess June. Was it that long ago? June, and everybody's just always. I guess everybody got it in their head that we were coming home to record the record. I mean, the fans, So
right.
I would just see all these write-ups or emails, saying, "So how's the studio going?" and all that. So I'm like, "We're not even in the studio, So it's just a slow undertaking, but hopefully it'll happen.
Well, I'm sure it'll be worth the wait when it comes out, But
the new songs are incredible, man.
Yeah.
The songs are great. I mean, it's like our old stuff, but I don't know how to describe it, but it's I Hate God. I mean, it's I Hate God stuff. It's not going to be a generic in any way. It's going to be different, but still good. The songs are excellent. We've done a few of them live before.
Okay.
We just haven't been in the studio yet, so.
Well, we're definitely looking forward to that. I wanted to ask you, I heard that, through your whole experience, you lost most of your punk record collection. Have you been able to build any of that back up?
Yeah, but, just all on burned CDs,
Right.
I've got some vinyl that was at an ex-girlfriend's house in upstate New York when Katrina happened. So I got that vinyl shipped down to me, but which is a good, I don't know, probably 100 or so, 200 records or something like that. But I had so much shit, just that's just gone.
Yeah.
And I am finding a lot of it here and there, but it's just like I said, the stuff I lost. It's hard to find the original stuff without paying some outrageous price for stuff. I mean, I was like a record collector.
Yeah.
I had stuff that was worth money.
Sure. Yeah, I'm somewhat of a collector myself, and when I heard that story about you, it was just like, oh man. I mean, you'll never get all of that back.
No, not at all. Not the actual stuff.
Yeah.
What pisses me off also even more is just I had tons of demo cassettes. Those I can't even find those. You can't find those on the internet. It's pretty rare. Those and books too. I lost a lot of books that I loved, and those are mostly out of print or something. So, but it's just material possessions to me now. I can't look back and worry about it.
Right on.
I'm just gonna just gotta move forward.
Good, man. Good for you. I've heard your nickname is Mike 9. Is that right?
Yeah, that's what people call me. Yep.
Where does that come from?
I don't know. Exactly. It started when I was in jail. People started writing me and calling me that. I think they said there was an I Hate God website at one point. It's gone now, but we have the MySpace still, but the website's gone. And when I went to jail, they had put on there free Mike 9, you know?
Yeah.
And like the Roman numeral 9 or
Right,
whatever.
right.
And then it just kind of stuck, and it just, you know, I kind of kept it from there.
And
But
you actually married your wife on 999, is that correct?
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It's a number that's meant a lot to me in the past. Like,
Really?
I don't know if it is with you, but I mean, like, certain numbers will like manifest themselves. Like,
Sure.
yeah, like, you know, just like that number would come up a lot. Like,
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
I'd find like a playing card. Like, I used to landscape, cut grass and stuff, you know. And I'd find, like, you know, a domino, like one domino, and it would be the number 9. Or I'd find, like, a playing card, and it would be the 9 of hearts or something, you know?
That's crazy.
Just weird shit like that. And I guess at one point, well, I've got it tattooed on my arm, too, the Roman numeral. So maybe, I guess, people picked it up from that, or... So I just use it now because it separates me from the other 1 billion... Mike Williams as there are.
Right. It's certainly a common name, but I think you are one of the more unique Mike Williams out there for sure.
Well, I hope so. And plus, I have this book out, and The Cancers of Social Activity, my book, and
Yeah, talk about that for a minute.
well, I went on Amazon and was looking. It was on Amazon for a while. It's out of print again. We printed it twice. It's been sold out both times. So.
No kidding.
I plan to print it again, but I went on Amazon to check it out and see what was going on, and that's when I noticed all the Mike Williamses that have books out, you know, so I was like, yeah, that Mike 9 will definitely come in handy now, you know.
Very
So
cool.
the second printing of the book actually says Mike 9 Williams in the front.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, it's just it's a book of, like, lyrics and, just, you know, some prose stuff, like just some stuff I've written through the years. It's like some like dark, negative stuff, pretty much, for the most part.
Should be cool.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So, what are you going to be doing later, Mike? How does Mike Williams just kind of hang out when he's at home, not on tour?
Man, just read and write, and just take care of business. You know, I've got interviews today and all day today, and I've got to go into New Orleans tomorrow. We're doing a interview for Decibel again, another Decibel interview.
That's cool.
And yeah, they're flying in for I think I don't know exactly what it's for, but what the purpose of it is. We just did the one recently.
Well, there was the one with Phil a couple months ago, which you're a big part of that article.
Yeah. Yeah, so this one, I think it's like a video interview for their website.
I see. Well, Decibel's very cool stuff. I check it out all the time, so, you know.
Awesome.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, sure, man.
Listen, Mike, I don't want to take too much of your time because I know you got some other interviews, but like I said, thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate the time. I'm definitely going to try and check you guys out in Indy next month, so...
Yeah, come out, man. You know, everybody come out. Everybody come see us. It's, an I Hate God show is an experience, I would say.
Absolutely.
Because you don't know if we'll ever play again, for one thing.